Hello, everybody. Good day from Nigeria. This morning, I want to wish us Merry Christmas in arrears and Happy New Year in advance. Thank God for bringing us this far. It's 30th of December 2025. I just want to share a thought with us. And my thought line, it's going to be titled, He is an empowering God. God is an empowerer. God empowers people. I've thought about the way we disciple people in the church. And I see that some people, their discipleship model is like they think discipleship is just about teaching people things. So they have this classroom mentality about discipleship. They put in a class, they teach you, they keep teaching people. All through their life, their understanding of discipleship is teach people, teach. They have series upon series, manual upon manual, book upon book. And, it's good. That's part of discipleship. But you see, if you look at the background that we're coming from, the Christian faith is built on the culture of the Jewish people. In the Old Testament, you will see when God told the children of Israel, he said, teach your children when you rise up in the morning, when you are walking with them, when you are sitting, and when you are anywhere, and then put the law on the pillars of your house, let them have it around their wrists, and then all that. So that's a teaching part of the discipleship. Deuteronomy, you see it. But you see, he will also go beyond teaching to tell the people how they will make this law. They will meditate on the law and then act upon it. And then you see teachers of the law also who will teach people. The parents are supposed to empower their children by also, the things they have benefited from the law, they hand it over to their children. Like, for instance, let's look at the economic empowerment model of the Jewish people. They always have this 7 years training. Your mentor will mentor you, and then after he mentors you for 7 years, so you get the training, which is like empowering you with knowledge, then empower and then allows you to do the trade yourself. So you're also contributing the person's business while you are training, and then after 7 years you're empowered. It says when you leave, when an Israelite serve you, don't after 7 years, don't allow him to go empty. Empower him with everything. Give him part of your goods and all that, so you can go and set up his own life and all that. You see, the Jewish people, even when they marry their daughters and their children, they don't leave them. You see, when a man, these daughters of Zelophehad or somebody who had they had no brother, and so the inheritance, when they were sharing the inheritance when Moses was still alive, they went to Moses and said, our father is late and he had no son. So what happens to our father's inheritance? Moses consulted God. God said, pass the inheritance to the daughters. God is always an empowering God. Move through that. And that's why the Jewish people today, they are the wealthiest people. They don't just teach their children, they empower their children. You send your children to the university and then you leave them to go out and be looking for work. My friend, you have not done everything. You need to go beyond that. In Nigeria today, which job is available for people? You should think beyond just sending them to school. What next after they come out? You should use your platform, you should use your contact, you should use whatever to empower them. That's how to get people. Then in the church, let's come back to the church. Discipleship. You teach people. Jesus' model of discipleship, he's the master. He taught them, he empowered them to go out, and they came back with reports. He allowed them to cast out devils while he was there. And the Bible says he gave them power and authority over sickness, over disease. So his model of discipleship, not just teaching them. He empowered them to do what he was doing. when he was doing miracles, he allowed them to participate. He will bless the bread, he will give them, so they saw life, how the thing works. And then you see, when he was, after training them for 3 years, practical hands-on training, teaching was there, allowing them to do to go out and teach and preach. Also, he empowered them. They even gave them oil to go and anoint people. They came out with testimony. So, and then when he was leaving to start the church, he told them, "Don't go anywhere. Stay in Jerusalem until you be empowered." And the way he empowered them, not just that the Holy Ghost came upon them, it wasn't quiet, it was noisy. That's part of empowerment. It was noisy, and then cloven tongues of fire came upon them. My friend, if you want to study, if you start a church and you have people, even if it's you and your wife and children, and they start on Sunday morning and people see fire on the roof and they see fire on top of you, and then you begin to speak in tongue and you're speaking things that you've not learned, don't you think that that's the best empowerment? People saw fire on the people. They had them speaking in tongues, and they knew these were Galileans. And they were not so educated, and they were speaking things that were praising God in different languages of the world. So that was a strong empowerment that attracted people. Peter leveraged on that. God has given them a great platform, and then he preached. 3,000 people came. The next move was Acts chapter 4. They raised a lame man, and then 5,000 people joined the church. You will see that God didn't just teach them. They were not just people who were armed with knowledge. So today, in closing, what kind of mentoring are you getting? And how are you discipling your people? Discipleship is teaching, empowerment, and then teaching and empowering people. And one way to empower people is allow them, give them platforms. While you are there, let your people teach. Sit down, let your people teach. Introduce them. Even Jesus had to be introduced by John, who was an establishment person, because John came from a lineage of priests. His father was priest, so they knew them in their distance. So his platform was there. And then when Jesus came under that platform, the heaven opened and God introduced him. Even God had to introduce Jesus for it to be made easy for him. So how are we discipling people? You teach people. I have connected to people who, what they do, they teach you until when you're growing gray hair, they are still teaching you. They are teaching you. They have platform. They can't give you that platform. They don't trust you. Or maybe when you get old and you are about dying, they say, "Oh, this person," and God forbid, people will not empower people. So, and they allow people get frustrated and maybe die. They will come to their funeral and say, "God, this man was a great man. He's a man of integrity." If you believe he's a man of integrity, why didn't you give him a platform? Why didn't you introduce him to your friends? So many people don't need your money. Your sons may not need your money. You are gone ahead of them. Give them platform. Empower them. While you are there, David gave Solomon his platform, made him a king before he died, and told all the captains, all the princes of Israel, tell them to cooperate with him. David prepared everything they needed. Even when God said don't build, he prepared everything. So David, in the wilderness, everything that the children of Israel needed to build the temple, God gave them from Egypt. God knew we were going to use it. He empowered them. God is an empowering God. So real discipleship doesn't end in just teaching people. You need to empower them with opportunity. You need to empower them financially. You need to empower them with your connection and your platforms. You need to give them access to the people that God has given you access to. You need to give them validation, open validation. And you understand? You need to, yes, that's how to empower people. And the people of the world, they are doing more. That's why we see this kind of Sometimes we have a system in the church today where people are not even allowed to ask questions. Church today most times is the pastor teach. Nobody asks questions. In the 80s when we were growing up, we go to Bible study. You know what happened in Bible study? We have manuals. We teach. They ask questions. People talk. Sometimes when you ask those questions or you answer questions, they discover you. They say, this person. Okay, the next Sunday they'll say you're going to be the next. You're going to teach the other class. They'll break the class into say, no, you have go to the other class. But nobody knows about you. You come to church, everybody just answer this. So I pray that will change. And I tell you, my friends, if you are in a teaching relationship or mentoring relationship with anybody, and the only thing they do is just teach you, load you with this thing. Paul says when you're supposed to be teachers, you're soon being taught. So there's a time that people you're teaching are supposed to be teaching. Paul says when you are supposed to be teachers, Hebrews chapter 5, you're still being taught these things. You're supposed to be teachers. So don't keep people in a classroom until they get old and they die. And then you say, I have a son. You don't have any son. You don't know how to mentor people. All right. So in 2026, one of the things that I see is that there's going to be a lot of shift. People are going to be realigned. There's going to be political realignment. And there's going to be realignment in the church because people are maturing. The church is maturing. We need to do more. And sometimes people think prophets are people just say, "Thus say the Lord, thus say the Lord." The last time I came here, I told you 1 month ago. I said when Donald Trump said he was going to come and take out ISIS and terrorists in Nigeria, and I came out and I said it's a battle of thrones. And that I talked about a caliphate and where they send the IPOP leader to the city and then all that. When Trump came to hit, he revealed something that we don't know. Behind that same environment is where the major the hideout of the main people. So who tells you that those people who are in that city don't know that those people are there and all that? Who is backing them? Who is buying that? So a prophet may not come and tell you, "Oh, thus say the Lord," but everything we say, even this teaching, is a prophecy. So take heed. The Lord bless you and increase you in Jesus' name. Amen.